Hello everyone and welcome back to another Hookster Talks. Yes, here we are, another Thursday evening with me and Mr. Gru the Bear. Yes, there he is, look, it's Gru the Bear. What? What? What do you mean? No, it's always been Gru the Bear, hasn't it? Yes, Gru the Bear, yes, my new mascot because, yes, things happened last week, didn't they? Didn't they, Gru the Bear? Yes, they did. And so now he's taken over, haven't you? Yes. Don't you use any of those Jedi mind tricks on me. I know what you're like. Bastard. Bastard. Yes. Gru the Bear. Fantastic. Hello, Mr. Bois. Welcome to the stream. He says, hello, old git. That's me. That's me. How's your 121 seats? They are very, very comfortable. Thank you very much. Very comfortable indeed. There's lots of room. There's lots of room. Yes, lots of room. Yes, because Labour's filled all the others up. But yes, let's not go on about that, shall we? I'm still crying in my Beaujolais. I don't care. I don't care. I didn't vote for them, so it doesn't matter. I didn't vote for anyone, so it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. I didn't vote for Labour because I can't reverse my principles because I've always been a Tory boy since I first started voting, so I can't reverse my politics. So I didn't vote for Labour, but I didn't vote for the Conservatives either because of what's been happening the last few years, especially with COVID and everything else and people dying. There was no way I could put my vote on the ballot for them at this time. That's now all gone, by the way. Conservatives are completely bloody destroyed because Rishi Sunak has gone back to his pharmacy where he can watch lots of Sky TV. And but that is now gone now. The Conservatives, as they were, are now no. It's a sad fact of life, but it happens in politics. Once you're out, then all your past sins are forgotten about. So if this all goes belly up for Labour in 4 years' time and the Conservatives comes back in, we'll all be, oh yes, lovely Conservatives, let's get back. I can't see it myself. I can't. In fact, to be honest, I've got a prediction for you here. And like most of my predictions, it's going to be absolutely 100% correct. Lulu's never going to win a race this year. No. Bastard. He did that on purpose. He did that on purpose just because I've been saying he's been washed up for all this season. He did that on purpose, yeah. Said, up yours, Hookster, up yours. Look at me winning races. Bastard. But here's my prediction anyway, which probably won't come true. I don't think in my lifetime, however long that is left I've got, I don't know, could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be 35 years down the line. That's the great thing about being alive. You just never know. You just never know. You never know when your time is up. Yes. So whenever that is, my prediction is I don't think we're going to see the Conservatives back in power. I can't see it for a good 20 years at least now. I really can't. Unfortunately, yes. Tory boy is now sunk to the depths of depression. Not really. I don't care. I don't bloody care. I haven't cared about politics basically since COVID. They're all a load of lying bastards. All a lot of them. Conservatives, Labours, Lib Dems, all of them. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. They're all a load of lying bastards. So I don't care about them anymore. So I didn't vote. I didn't vote. So I'm clean. I'm absolutely clean because I didn't vote. But yes, I've got a sneaky suspicion Conservatives won't be back in power for the rest of my lifetime. As I say, which is hopefully 20 years, maybe 30 years, maybe 40. No, that's pushing it. That's well pushing it. But, you know, yeah, hopefully within that time period, I might get to see Conservatives back, but I can't see it. I just can't see it. I really can't. Anyway, Rest in peace, TB, mate. Rest in a Costa Rican jungle. Yes, that's where he's gone. Hello, Mr. Champ92. He says, hello, Dave. Keep racing for life. Race fans in the chat. And you, fresh young Dave. Fresh young Dave. I wish I was. I wish I was. Back in my day, which was the 80s, I was fresh young Dave, I must admit. Now I'm just old fart. Dave, I had a late night kebab. Want to have one too? Oh, yes, I do like a nice doner. I do like a nice doner. I do like a nice Marie, as it happens. Sarah, Susan. Anything, to be honest. I'm not fuzzy. So they'll be back in next year then. I just got that. I just got that, you sneaky little bastard. I just got that joke. Yes, very funny, very funny. You'll miss me when I've gone. You'll bloody all miss me when I've gone. I'll tell you what, when I go, my YouTube channel will just blow up. I know it will, because I've seen it before on YouTube. Everyone's channels does. When they die, their YouTube channels just blow up. I'll tell you, I'll end up getting millions of views for my videos. and I'll be up there looking down at you lot down here, and I'll be going, you bastards! You bastards! You couldn't give me a million bloody views of the video all the time I was bloody alive. Now I'm bloody dead. I'm getting bloody 2 million views. Ironic. Absolutely. But that's what's going to happen. Yes. But nice one. Old fart. With your remaining lifetime. Hello, Mr. Will F1 Gaming. He said, congratulations to BOTTAS on winning tonight's quiz. The only one not on delay, and even still he tries to bottle everything like Lando Norris, who's totally overrated. Yes, that was a funny quiz last week. I will tell you what happened. Basically, everyone left me. Yes, everyone left me, and it was only me and BOTTAS actually doing the quiz. Or, in fact, I wasn't even doing the quiz. I was just asking the questions, and so yeah, it was really funny. Everyone sort of, I think there was 4 or 5 of us. Lionel Plessy was in here. I don't think Will was, because he was in at the start, but then he must have fallen asleep or something. But I think there's about 4 or 5 people in here, and they all just left. And I was like, oh. So there was only BOTTAS, so he got all the questions right. Obviously, because he was the only one answering them. So it's quite funny. Dave on the other side will yell. Yes, I will. I will indeed. Hang on a minute. I just got a message from a certain Mr. Yorkshireman. I just put in one of the chats that I am live, which I do with my stream. I link it to lots of chats. It's my only way of getting viewers. And I've put it into this chat, and I've got a response from Josh, because I put my link to this stream in it, and underneath it I put I am live. And Josh has typed in underneath, hopefully wired to the mains. It's sad piano time, lads. It's sad piano time. No, sad violin time. Outrageous. If I could spell outrageous, how do you spell outrageous? Quite a big word, isn't it? E-O-U-S, is it? Outrageous. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to go with that. Outrageous. There we go. That'll do. That'll do for me. Right, we've got some people coming to the chat now, so I'm going to make myself a bit smaller. That's what she said. And so we can have a look at the chat. Let's make the chat a bit bigger, shall we? Does it go out that way as well? Oh, it does. Woo! Woo! Cool, I'm learning stuff all the time, lads. Learning stuff all the time. Look. And that's There we go. There we go. Right, what have we got? McLaren have had the fastest car the last 7 races, and Norris has one lucky win. Not good enough. Damon Hill, 1995, all over again. I'm glad you brought up Damon Hill because I have to agree with you. Yes. Damon Hill, as I've said before in previous streams, a good driver, but not a great driver. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I understand actually he was better. He started on bikes and he was a better bike rider than he was actually an F1 driver, which very strange, very strange. Of course, he was the son of Graham Hill, a great F1 driver. I have to say, absolute monster of an F1 driver. But Damon wasn't really, one of the best. Let's put it that way. A lot of people sort of said that the 1996 championship, he pretty much lucked into it due to the fact that Michael Schumacher, of course, left Benetton to go to Ferrari, and it was his first year at Ferrari, and that Ferrari in 96 was not a good car, let's put it that way. He managed to get a good team behind him to sort out a lot of the problems with that car, but don't forget, they were inheriting basically the 1995 car, and that was an absolute dog of a Ferrari. An absolute dog of a Ferrari, it really was. And so there wasn't a lot they could sort of do to it, but straight away they managed to get some performance out of that car, which was pretty decent, I have to say. USA Grand Prix 2005 Part 2. That's exactly what it felt like. Yes, because you were the only one answering the questions. Just like there was only 6 cars on the grid in 2005. Indianapolis. What a great race that was. I mean, it was just brilliant, wasn't it, really? I mean, no one could believe it. No one could believe it was actually happening, but it was. It was. The American crowd went wild. Really went wild. Yes, they were throwing beer cans over the fence in the end, weren't they? Because it was just, oh my God. 6 cars took place in that race. Let me see if I can get the cars right. It was Minardi. I remember they were in it. Jordan, they were in it. And who was the last team? Was it Ferrari? I think it was Ferrari, wasn't it? Of those 6 cars. I'm pretty sure it's Ferrari because they were on Bridgestones, weren't they? And all the rest were on Michelin. And Michelin said they could not guarantee the safety of the tyres basically going around some of the banking. They couldn't guarantee the safety. And so they basically said, you can't race. No one was convinced that was going to happen. Even Bernie Ecclestone, literally 4 minutes before the race was going to run, said, no, it'll be fine. We're all going to be starting. I remember him on the grid saying that. We're all going to be starting. It's going to be fine. And then the race started, and there was just 6 cars on the grid. It was just unbelievable. I mean, for Minardi, it was like a gift from heaven. It was like a gift from heaven. 6 cars, and 2 of those cars were Minardi's. It was just an absolute gift for them, wasn't it? That now, what year was this? 2005. What was the point situation? 2005. I can't remember. Was it 10-8-6 or was it 10-6? I can't remember that far back. But whatever it was either the 10-6 or the 10-8 scoring system. So whatever happened with only 6 cars on the grid, they were guaranteed some points at Minardi, and that's exactly what they got. Yes. Oh my God. And of course Jordan as well, another gift for them. Absolutely fantastic. Right, let's look at this. Get Boris Johnson on the all seasons now. That's a good idea. I don't think I've got him written down either. Let's write down the Boris man. I have already done this week's. Well, I've done the video. I've just got to do the commentary tomorrow. I only have certain times I can do the commentary, so I don't disturb the neighbours because I do shout like an idiot for about 30 minutes. I have to be careful, so I have timings for when I can do commentaries. So I'm going to do the commentary for that tomorrow. and then I've got a special guest for the one tomorrow, which I've already done. Let me get a bit of paper here and write down. Boris Johnson. I have a feeling Boris Johnson's going to be difficult because he blathers, like an idiot, doesn't he? And I think that may be too much for the AI to try and work out. It'll be like, what? It'd be like trying to do Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden would be absolutely impossible to do as an AI voice because of the way he speaks. Nothing against Joe Biden, but he's basically, shouldn't still be in office at 81. But there you go. So Boris Johnson, let's write it down. Boris Johnson. And it's all right, I will get around to all these because don't forget, it's a weekly series, so there's plenty of opportunities. So if you've said ones in the past that I've written down, they may appear, but obviously with a weekly series, it's going to be a long time before I get round to all of them. Get Katie Hopkins on the... Oh, yes, Katie Hopkins. Let's write her down as well. Katie Hopkins. There you go. McLaren, the new bottle jobs. Sad violin. Yes, it's true. It's true. It's true. Hello, what's that? What's going on? I just got a message from someone. Oh, it's all right. Yes, it's true. McLaren. I mean, congratulations has to be said to Lewis Hamilton for winning the British Grand Prix. Absolute, monster drive. Let's not take anything away from him, but let's put it into perspective. The fact that Lando got ahead of him and was in the lead of the race. So Lando did everything that he needed to do to win that race, but strategy was an absolute disaster. It really was. Why they didn't bring Piastri in at exactly the same time as Lando, because they pitted George and Lewis at the same time with just a bit of a gap. As I said, I think on my video on Monday, if you watched, I was watching like the when they were coming to the pits, it looked like who came in first? Was it Lewis? Or I can't remember which way they come out. But whoever came in first, the car behind it looks like they were hanging back slightly, so they were probably getting an instruction from the team to sort of say, stay within this speed range, and then you will get straight into the pits and get service straight away. So they would have lost a tiny little bit of time, but Piastri lost a huge amount of time by having to go round again, a huge amount of time. So they could have easily double stacked both those McLaren cars. So I don't even understand the logic. I mean, they see everything that we see, and we clearly saw both the Mercedes coming together. So why didn't they call them in together at the same time? Very, very bizarre. Very, very bizarre indeed. Get Bianca Bustamante on the All Seasons. Let's write her down. Bless her. Bless her little cotton socks. Bianca Bustamante. I will try. I don't know. Because she's not a natural English speaker, so a lot of her commentaries, things that she says on the internet, don't forget, of course, I can only get this off of YouTube, all these voices. She doesn't say a lot in English because it's not her first language, so I'll give it a try, but unfortunately the AI can't make it into English if she's talking in Spanish. That's impossible. It doesn't translate it as well, but I'll have a look and see if there's anything about. Get Abby Pullen on the All Seasons. Abby Pullen. There you go. I've written that one down as well. Bianca Bustamante says Champ 92. Yes, yes. What a great. I was just looking at my screen actually because I've very much almost given away what this week's All Seasons is, but thankfully I haven't, because all you can see on the screen in the top left corner is Jeremy Clarkson AI, can't you? But I've got the rest of the desktop screen blocked off, so you can't see the top or the bottom, hence the fact that there's borders. And the actual this week's AI is actually above that, but you can't see it. But you can't see it. But yeah, that was clever. Or not on my part. Someone want to remind him there isn't any electricity in Yorkshire. I know. That's a good idea, actually. Wait there, young man. I'm gonna send that in the chat. You don't even have Leggy in Yorkshire. There you go. There you go. Done. Dusted and trolled. The electricity always works in Yorkshire, but I think you'll have fine. Nice. Blah, shut up like Lando Norris needs to. He'll know better than Coulthard, to be honest. This is true. David Coulthard, another great white elephant. I mean, he came into Formula One with so much promise. Unfortunately, the circumstances of him coming to Formula One was very tragic, because of course he took over from Ayrton Senna, so that's very tragic indeed. But let's not take that away from him. He probably would have made it into Formula One anyway. I very much doubt though he would have made it into Williams. You know, that I think is a given. He'd probably ended up in one of the lower teams. But you know, give him his credit. He came into Formula One with a huge weight on his shoulders, but he couldn't deliver. Unfortunately. I think it was just too much for him. And some of the mistakes that he made during the 94 and 95 seasons were unforgivable mistakes. Let's put it that way. I mean, crashing in the pit lane, I mean, that was just classic. And then of course he crashed on the formation lap, didn't he, as well? Which was, you know, everyone just couldn't believe it. They were looking, what? How the hell can you crash on a formation lap? You're only doing one in an onion. But yes, he did. But I have to say, he did get better, and I think he drove the best of his career when he was at McLaren in 1998. I think that was the best he ever drove. Yes, he made a few mistakes. He had that mistake when he hit Hakkinen. Whoopsie! So yeah, he still made a few mistakes, but I think in terms of driving, I think he drove his best during his McLaren years. Then of course he went to Red Bull, but Red Bull were just coming into the sport, and that car wasn't the best car, and so I really don't think you can sort of say he had any good years at Red Bull. He did well, but not to any great degree. So I think the McLaren years from 98 were his best, I think, in Formula One. It's just like Tommy said in the P1 podcast with Matt, I quote, McLaren has the best car, but maybe not the best team. He got a point, though, because what the fuck was that in Silverstone? Yeah, true. They have got the best car, and the team, I think I said this on Monday, unfortunately they haven't really got an Adrian Newey sort of person in their sort of technical department, have they? And whenever you see like the hot shots in Formula One, you never see any of the McLaren staff on like the prep perch. They never seem to go to them, do they? They always seem to go to the Red Bull. They give a lot of attention to this Sabine, is it? Red Bull, Sabine, is it Sabine Schmidt? Sabine Schmidt? I better get that right. Because I may be thinking it is Sabine though, isn't it? No, it's not Sabine Schmidt. What is her name? I'm sure it's Sabine, isn't it? Hannah Smits, that's the one. Hannah Hannah Smits, that's the one. She's on the Red Bull. They sort of take it in turns, don't they, on the strategy? And she's not there every single race, but I'm pretty sure she was there at Silverstone. And they always seem to cut to her a lot during the races. So Hannah is always cut to, and things like that. But they never seem to cut to any of the McLaren technical department, do they? And you don't hear anything about the McLaren technical department either. So I think in that regards, they haven't really got any sort of hot shots. Any tech guys. I mean, even when they're talking to Lando and Piastri, they seem very, I don't know, not very exciting. They need a Bruno, and is it Bruno? Or someone like that as one of the engineers. Someone with a bit of drive and excitement. And Max Verstappen's engineer, I can't remember what his name is. They need someone like that, don't they? Because they just don't seem excited to be doing the job, to be honest, at McLaren. So it is a little bit of a problem. So I think their technical department is lacking a little bit. I think it needs a bit of chutzpah. Needs a bit of dynamic chutzpah. You like that word? Yeah. Needs a bit of forense. Yes, that's fire, I do believe, in Italian. Yes, I think that's how it says. See, I'm multicultural, I'm multicultural. So, but that's what they need. Not really. I think that's what they need at McLaren. They need a bit of, need a bit of pepping up in their sort of technical department and in their strategies as well, because it clearly at Silverstone it wasn't working. And I think if they could get around that problem, Lando could really, really be a sticking stone for Max Verstappen, even for the rest of this season, because he is definitely up there. Max is starting to look now a little bit under pressure. And the thing is, all this Hornygate stuff with Red Bull, that's all disappeared now. Nobody talks about that anymore. That's all been brushed under the carpet. That's a mere aeroplane toilet seat memory now. That's all gone. So nobody cares about that anymore. So the question you have to sort of ask yourself is, why are Red Bull no longer as dominant as they were at the start of the season? Personally, I believe it's the Adrian Newey effect. I think he's already gone, basically, and I think they're missing that input. But they can still carry on without him, no problem whatsoever, because there was the same thing happened at Williams when Adrian Newey left Williams. He designed the car, then he left, and they still carried on without him, and they did quite well for the first half of the season, but they started to drop off because, his voice and his experience and stuff like that, he wasn't there anymore. And so they started to tail off a little bit. And I think that's what's happening to Red Bull. And so Max is under a little bit of pressure, which I love because, as I say, I've nothing against Max. He's doing the job that, he should be doing. He's winning races and that's it. He can't slow down and let the others catch up. So what else can he do? But I also love the fact that there is a little bit of competition that I can see now between Red Bull and McLaren, and you've also got Mercedes in the mix as well. They're improving, definitely improving. Ferrari at the moment seems to be the biggest disappointment. I don't know what's happening. They seem to be going backwards a little bit. Definitely, their performance at Silverstone was pretty average, it has to be said. So yeah, I don't know what's happening at Ferrari. Very strange situation. McLaren were disgraced last weekend. Inexcusable. Sackings in the operations department needs to happen. There you go. They are discussing tyre choice out of nowhere. Like, why? Yeah, absolutely. Villeneuve was learning all the circuits in 1996. Yes, this is true. Me as the Ferrari pissing off into the distance. Norris said, go softs, because that was what Hamilton was on. Then overshot his pit box and had no pace on those tyres. Yes. Of course, that happens. You know, another team, another car, it's a completely different car, and it has a completely different characteristics and, you know, driving style. So what suits one person isn't going to suit another. So yes, Dave, you might want to believe me, but when I said on Quali Day what they want to do race with 6 cars when all Michelin teams boycott, and you know what happened? Like I jinxed it all. I know. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. No one could believe it either that it happened, but it did. And it's the truth. Yes. Even die-hard Formula 1 fans who maybe haven't been in the sport only about the last 10 years, you say, oh yeah, well, you know, in 2005 only 6 cars run that. And they go, oh, get out of town. Get out of town. There wasn't a race with only 6 cars in it. And then you just direct them to the video and they're like, what? How on earth did this even happen? Well, yes, questions were asked. Well, how on earth this? It's never happened again, I will say that. Never happened again. Norris needs to be on it more with certain strategy calls. Same goes for Leclerc. Yes, I do agree with you there. Does need to be on it a little bit more. And Leclerc as well. Champ 90 says, Jordan, Minardi and freaking Ferrari. There you go. Yes, those were the 3 teams that were allowed to race in the 2005 Indianapolis Grand Prix due to the fact that they were on Bridgestone tyres, and Bridgestone said, we haven't got a problem with our tyres, so you can run. And so that's exactly what they did. Now, of course, the sensible thing to have done in that situation would have been just to put all the cars on Bridgestone tyres. Of course, that was never going to happen because Bridgestone would not have wanted anyone from Michelin anywhere near their tyres because they were in a tyre war at that time. So that was never going to... But that would have been the simplest solution. But then, of course, you can also argue that the cars on the Michelin tyres would be specially set up for those tyres. So the Bridgestones probably wouldn't have worked anyway. But, you know, only half working would have been better than not running the cars at all, which is what we ended up with, wouldn't it? You know? Even if all the Michelin shod cars didn't do very well, at least they were going around the circuit, which is a lot better than only having 6 cars, wasn't it? But yeah, so that would have been the best idea, in my opinion, just to have put everyone on Bridgestone tyres because they had no problem. But as I say, it was never going to happen. So many issues with that situation, as I say, with Michelin getting very close to Bridgestone. A Bridgestone tyre would be, oh my God, not ever going to happen. But yeah, that would have been a solution, and then we wouldn't be still talking about this so many years later, would we? And yeah, that's what I would have done anyway. If my name would have been Bernie Ecclestone back into, I said, put them all on Bridgestones. Put them all on Bridgestones and send them out. Send them out. It don't matter if they all crash into turn 1. Just send them out. At least we'll have a race with a full field of cars. And that's what should have happened. That's what should have happened. But as I say, I'm pretty sure that the tyres were made for those certain types of cars, so I don't think it would have worked anyway. Destroyed F1 in America for over a decade. It sure did. It sure did. Yes, it's come back with a vengeance now, though, hasn't it? Jesus. But yeah, for 10 years, no F1 in America. Bar says 10-8. Thank you. The points in 2005 was the 10-8-6 situation. So yes, Minardi, wowzers. Did they all finish that race? I think they did, didn't they? All 6 cars? I can't remember. But yeah, so Minardi would have been well happy with that. Yes, it was a 10-8-6 point system. I have no sympathy for bottle job Lando Norris. He acts like a child. Someone's trying to wind up someone else in this chat, I do feel. Minardi weren't happy with the situation either. They were basically forced into racing as Jordan were as well, and they needed the prize money to ensure survival. Yes. Best part of the USA 2005 scandal race for me was the scene when Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello almost collided while fighting for the first position after Rubens came out of the pits. Yes, yes. I think that was the only exciting bit in the race, wasn't it? Because, God, there was nothing else. There was nothing. You had the Minardis going round at the back, obviously, with their usual pace of about a second. Oh, I think it was more than that back in the day, wasn't it? 2-3 seconds a lap slower. Sounds about right, doesn't it? So they were doing their pace. The Jordans were 2005. Well, wait, 2005. It wasn't even a Jordan, was it? It was. It was a Jordan, but it was their last year, wasn't it? That's when he'd already sold the team, wasn't it? Eddie Irvine. Eddie Jordan had already sold the team, didn't he? And so they ran it as Jordan, but he had nothing to do with the team. That was 2005, wasn't it? Sure it was. Yeah, because Red Bull came in 2006, didn't they? 2006. Well, those three teams came in 2006, actually, didn't they? It was the Red Bull, the Midland. What was that 2004? I can't remember. But anyway, I remember that the Jordan, I think, was their last year, wasn't it? 2005, as I say. And they weren't. It wasn't really even a Jordan, was it? Because he was long gone. Eddie was sitting on his yacht. Or no, it was Michael Rubens was on the outside. He came down the straight, yeah. So you and boys will be perfect together. Both blabber on. This is true. Exactly. And Jordan scored another point at the Belgian Grand Prix late in the season, so it didn't make a difference in the end. The scorer was Tiago Montero, by the way. Yes. Tiago Montero. Katie, the fascist herself. Oh, yes. Oh, what's that? It's my Viagra timer. It's time to take me pill. Your Lulu was amazing, Dave. He was amazing. I've said it many times, but I love Lulu. I really do. And I hope he stays in Formula 1 for another 10 years because he's one of the last characters left in the sport. He really is. Really is one of the last characters. As a person, I'm not really much of a fan. I was when he was in his heyday, when he first came into the sport and won those early championships. I was like, yes. And I was sitting there on the edge of my seat in 2007 when he won the championship. Basically on a penalty. In football terms, he won it on a penalty. But yeah, I was on the edge of my seat like a lot of people were. But as the years progressed, some of the things that Lewis was doing, I didn't agree with. I didn't agree with him sacking his own father as his manager. I thought that was a very silly mistake. I don't understand why he did that at all, but that's personal reasons and nothing to do with us as the general public. But then, of course, there was the relationship with Nicole Schwarzenegger, whatever her name is. That was, that was a little bit too showy for me, and and the way they always kept cutting to her during the races, and she was so much. Oh, my baby's won a race, and I just wanted to maybe reach for the sick bag, to be honest. That was just too much for me. And then after that, some of the things Lewis started coming out with, I was sort of didn't align with my values. So his estimation went down when he starts talking about climate change and saving the planet when the biggest sponsor of one of the biggest sponsors of Mercedes is Petronas, which is one of the biggest oil companies in the world. And there's little Lulu saying, no, we must turn the taps off and we must save on gas to save off. It's just such a contradiction in terms. It really is. It's laughable. It's just laughable that, he would even say that. I can't understand why he said that, because he's got this ambassadorial role, so he's going to, come out with stuff. But it's just ridiculous that you're driving around, Lewis, burning fuel in a Formula One car, going around in circles for 70 laps, and you're saying, "Oh, we must save the planet. We must save the planet." And don't forget, of course, all the cars that Lewis has got, and he's regularly seen out driving in them. And we're talking top of the range Porsches with massive, huge engines which spurt out so much emissions, it's unbelievable. But we must save the planet, everyone. We must. Lulu speaks, and we must listen. I always remember that little short video he made during COVID, when COVID had just started to happen, and there's always about this hand washing, and he actually made like a 1 minute video, explaining how to wash your hands properly. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. And he's going, right, and now you get the soap on, and then you get lots of hot water, and then you just. I was like, Lulu, I fucking know how to wash my hands, son. I've been doing it a long time. It's just unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. So, yeah, ever since then, some of the things he's come out with, I've been like, whatever. But one thing I've never questioned, apart from this year when I've said that he doesn't look like Lewis Hamilton, but before that, the one thing I've never questioned is his driving ability. He is, after all, a 7 times world champion. That's nothing to be taken away from him. He is a damn good driver. And on Sunday, at the Grand Prix at Silverstone, he proved it, and that he's still got it. He's still got it. When it counts, he can still produce the goods. It's just unfortunate that it's not very often these days. And I still believe that he's not going to do very well at Ferrari. I still believe that. Yes, but wouldn't it be funny, as I've said before, if this Mercedes is now coming back strong, and by the end of the season, it's right out there in front? And wouldn't it be funny if Lewis Hamilton starts winning? Say if Lewis won the last 4 races of this season, how gutting would that be? That now he's off, then he's off to Ferrari, and he's probably going to end up 12th or 11th in the races next year. I wouldn't laugh. Well, I would do, really. But yeah, it would just be funny, wouldn't it, if that happened? 104 wins, let that sink in. Yeah, absolutely. I say you cannot beat the statistics. Lots of people saying, yeah, but he's always been in the best car pretty much. Blah, 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 blah. You've still got to cross the finish line in the lead, and that's what he's done 104 times. So you can't take that away from him. You can't take that away from him. You really can't. Of course it was Montero, wasn't Kafakayan, yes. Doing Kafakayan dirty, yes. At least he won in the A1 Grand Prix Cup of Nations. Don't diss the cucumber goat. A series, no one probably even knows here in the chat. I do remember it. Yes. Get Alain Prost on the all seasons. Blimey. Alain Prost. Now don't forget, old voice. So that means any recordings of him are going to be from a while back. So you're talking about very old microphones. So it may not be possible. I'll give it a go, but if it doesn't come out right, I'll have to abandon it. The one I did a couple of days ago for this weekend, actually, I had to do 3 goes on that one because the first 2 wasn't quite right. So I always give them a couple of goes. Sometimes it nails it straight away. And I'm like, yes. But sometimes it doesn't. Alain Prost. Nigel Mansell. Get Nigel Mansell. It's Mansell. Mansell again with his Brummy accent may not come through because the AI doesn't seem to do accents very well. Which one did I do the other week? Was it Jeremy Clarkson? And it completely missed his accent. I mean, you could sort of tell it was him, but the accent was just missing. And yet the voice I'm recording it off is actually his voice. That's how I do it. I record the actual person's voice, and so very weird how it misses the accent sometimes. Yeah, it existed. Buster would be calling Stroll autistic again. Yes, bound to be. Bound to be. Get Heinz Harold Frentzen on the All Seasons. Blimey. Heinz Harold Frentzen? Fascinating fact, he used to go out with Corinne, now Schumacher. Corinne Schumacher, before Michael did. Did Heinz Harold Frentzen? Yes, Corinne was his girlfriend before they moved on, which is inevitable in life, and she moved on to Michael Schumacher. But before that, she was Heinz Harold Frentzen's girlfriend. I don't think it for very long, about a year, I think, something like that. But yes, fascinating fact for you. She is so annoying, really. Yes. Bustamante thinking she's now so special. Yeah, and I've been watching that W series. Not all the time. A couple of races I've watched. And she's doing nothing. She's got backing of McLaren and she's doing nothing. And yet that Abby Pullin is doing really well, and yet she gets no publicity. And I've said it in a stream, and I'll say it again. The reason why she gets no publicity is because Abby Pullin. I hate to use this word, but as I'm an ugly person, I can use this word. Abby Pullin is not attractive. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I know, but it's the truth. Bianca Bustamante is, and that's why she gets all the attention. Even though in the W Series she's doing shit and Abby Pullin is doing very well indeed. Yeah, but that's how life is, unfortunately. If you're attractive, you automatically become more popular anyway. It's just, you only have to look at YouTube, which is the greatest example of that. The greatest example. If you are young, very, very attractive, you have basically got all the credentials you need to do well on YouTube. You really have. That's why I'm still stuck at 1.87k subscribers, because everyone tunes in and goes, "What the fuck that?" I mean, yeah, she got a drive, we get it. Yeah, she got a drive, but she's not doing shit with it. Get Jess McFadden on the All Seasons. Jess McFadden, let me write her down. Jess McFadden. Stop dissing us Yorkshire people. You're the one that said it. I'm just repeating it. She needs a social media trainer or messenger madly anyways. Yeah, she does. I don't even know why she does her own social media anyway, because all people in that situation don't do it. So she shouldn't be doing it. She should have someone doing her social media, because otherwise that mistake wouldn't have even ever have happened. So yeah, she shouldn't be doing her own social media. Anyone who's in, any standing on social media at all shouldn't be doing their own, because you can just make so many mistakes and it bites you in the bum. Dr. Disrespect. Oh my God, let's not go there, eh? Let's not go there. What has been happening on YouTube in the past 2 weeks? It's just, the whole thing's blown up. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just going to read the rest of the chat. Well, if you heard Dave's recent interview podcast, he spoke about his career there in depth and detail. He was simply a young idiot. Yeah, I did catch bits of that. Yeah, and he did like the ladies back then as well, unfortunately, which I don't think did him in good standing. But yeah, if you look back through his 94 and 95 seasons, especially on like the grid walks, there was practically a new girlfriend holding his umbrella up every 3 or 4 races during those 94, 95 seasons. So yeah, it was a little bit ridiculous, but there you go. Couldn't deliver. Wouldn't call 13 wins not delivering. Remus Corner 1999. Too epic, that collision. And into the pit lane. Woo! Remus calling 99. Too epic, that collision. My goodness. David Coulthard got Red Bull their first podium too. Years later, the Ferraris would do that in 2020, I think it was. Yes. And then 2024, Verstappen and Norris. But let's not forget Hamilton and Rosberg 2016. Remus Corner is like a magnet for the dramas. Yes, Hannah Smits. That's the one. Hannah Smits, yes. So, but yeah, I keep thinking of Sabine Smits. She was the one that they used to have on Top Gear, wasn't she? She was the one that sadly died. I remember that. Queen of Nürburgring. Yeah, that's it. Godspeed, Sabine Smits. Yeah. Oh God, does Dave like another Hannah? Just leave it, okay? Just leave it. I'm very impressed with her technical expertise at Red Bull. Okay, Mr. Will? Very impressed indeed. Yes. McLaren should go and get a Bono. Yeah, they should go and get a Bono. Or just get Bono. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Just get Bono. Bono! Bono! Is my pizza ready, Bono? Have you dried my socks, Bono? Oh, shut up, Lewis. Shut up. Their operations department is almost as lacking as your love. This is sad, but very, very true. Yeah, I like that myself. That was very good. Both drivers underperforming. Savage. Goes exactly to the heart. It does. Norris is not good enough to win a championship. That Red Bull car is going slowly backwards. Yes, as I say, it is going slowly backwards. I still believe it is the Adrian Newey effect. Lando no wins. Lando won't ever win a title with his pretty boyish childish attitude. Lando one win. Kid can't grow a pair. Oh, the chat's getting spicy. The chat's getting spicy. Williams and Villeneuve came back on form in the last 4 races of 1997. More a mid-season slump, to be honest. Yeah, true. Very, very true. But it was they definitely had that mid-season slump, and that I still believe was because Adrian Newey was gone. Well, he was gone at the start of the 97 season because he was secretly went over to McLaren. They denied that he was even working there, but he was there working on the 98 car. That's why it came out of the box so bloody great. But yeah, so he wasn't there at all for the night. But he designed the 97 Williams from the ground up. That was his design of car. So it was always going to do well anyway. But unfortunately, as I say, you have to get to a period when you get to the halfway point of a season where the development parts have to start coming onto the car. And of course, Adrian wasn't there. So he couldn't be in charge of development parts. So no doubt, you know, they had other engineers and whatever that could have put, but it wasn't the same as having Adrian in charge. And that's why I believe they had that serious mid-season slump in 1997. And then, of course, 1998, which was the absolute disaster when you saw the full Adrian Newey effect of him not being there at Williams, because the car they produced in 98 was an absolute dog of a car. Horrible coloured as well. The livery with those Winfield red, and it just wasn't a Williams anyway. The car was horrible. I've said this before, but the two struts of the suspension were sticking out of the nose cone of the car. The suspension struts were sticking out of the nose cone of the car. And the moment I saw that, I just said, that is not an Adrian Newey designed car, because he would never have had that in a million years. He would have designed that out of that. No worries whatsoever. But yeah, the suspension struts were sticking out the nose cone. And I went, no. And the car proved to be a dog. A real dog. I remember the first race, I think they were fighting with the Tills, weren't they? I remember Jack Villeneuve said, well, we're fighting some new people this year. Yes, the Tills. Oh, it was horrible. Horrible. Did get better in 99. And of course, they had Ralph Schumacher there as well. So it did start to improve. And then, of course, in 2000, we had the BMW contract, which really did catapult them quite quickly, Williams. I have to say, with the BMW, I was very impressed. And of course, they had Jensen Button was there as well. And Yeah, and those first 3 or 4 years with that BMW, they were really great times for Williams. It really was. They were starting to come back to being one of the top teams. That's to be said. Lando can't grow a pair. Williams and Villeneuve came back on. Oh, sorry, I read that. Norris annoys me, says Will. Josh loves Norris. He thinks anyone needs to be his friend, like what he's thinking. That's competition. You're an F1 driver. Like, yes, true. Norris doesn't want to race on merit yet, in my eyes. Bottled Russia 2021 and has bottled 4 wins this year. Bridgestone were happy to provide the Michelin teams for that weekend if it meant getting a race on. The FIA wouldn't allow them for safety reasons, though. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it would be something like that. Safety reasons, and they probably said, that the cars weren't designed for the tyres, but, I mean, at the end of the day, it would have been far better, wouldn't it, than to have that, than to have 6 cars. Just put them all in the Michelins. It didn't matter how slow they were, would it? Just, it would have been a race and not a farce. It really would have been. Dave, what's your take and opinion of the new F1 movie with Brad Pitt? Expected to come out in the summer of 20. I've seen the trailer use the F2 cars, but I don't know, maybe it could be good. Well, I'm actually a fan of Sylvester Stallone's Driven, or as I like to call it, Drivel. Yes, I don't call it Driven, I call it Drivel. Well, I'm actually a fan of it. Not because it was so great, because it was so bad. Yes. I mean, if you've never seen Driven, it's a masterpiece. It really is. In badness. I mean, some of those crashes where they're literally flying 200 feet up in the air, still landing and the driver gets out, and you're like, what the fuck? That doesn't happen in real life. It's just ridiculous. And it was so cheesy and over the top, and Burt Reynolds was in it. Burt Reynolds was in it 3 months after his facelift. Yes, he literally had a facelift 3 months before he said, I'll do your film, Sylvester. Yes, so he still looks like he's got the stitching behind his ears, to be honest. And I have to say, was it worth it, Bert? Really, was it worth it? Because he certainly didn't look any better with a facelift. He certainly didn't. So yeah, but yeah, so Burt Reynolds was in it. Sylvester Stallone, who really can only write Rocky films, to be honest. Everything else, Rocky, I mean, even Rambo. I love Rambo. I love Rambo to death. I absolutely love Rambo. Doesn't matter what it is, which one it is, I love Rambo. But they are as vacuous as a puddle. There is no substance to a Rambo film whatsoever. But I just love them to death. I really do. But, as for, a nice script and no, you don't get that in a Rambo movie. But as I say, the Rocky movies, I think, is the only sort of thing that Sylvester Stallone was ever able to write. I mean, Sylvester Stallone has written some absolute shite. He really has written some absolute shite. And I have to say, Driven is one of those. It's just, horrible. I mean, what you need to do is you need to watch Grand Prix, which I think was made in 1966 with James Garner in it. Watch that film, and then immediately afterwards go and watch Driven. Because the two are so far apart in terms of quality. It's unreal. But that's what you should do. Watch Grand Prix and then Driven straight afterwards. And you will see so much of a difference. It's unbelievable. But so, Brad Pitt. Now let's see. Brad Pitt's 60 years old, I do believe. 60 years old. So he wouldn't even be in an F1 car in real life, would he? Has there ever been a 60-year-old F1 driver? Probably back in the 50s and 60s. There probably was one or two, but they're probably at the back of the field. But in real terms, fighting for wins and champions, has there ever been a six? So that part of it is completely illogical to me. Illogical. Even if he was playing a character 10 years younger, he'd still be 50 years old, and that's stretching it as well, isn't it? So that part for me doesn't work whatsoever. unfortunately, no one's been able to do a decent F1 film for ages. I think the closest we could come to one is Rush. I think that's probably the closest we could come to, a good F1 movie. I just can't think of anything else that comes close to it. They just don't seem to be able to get, what Formula One is all about, and it just ends up as a mess, like Driven did. Even though that wasn't Formula One, it was supposed to be Formula One when it started, because I remember Sylvester Stallone was going around some of the racetracks at the time when he was looking for places to film the movie, and he said it was going to be based on Formula One, but unfortunately that idea, I don't know, dropped out, and so it was changed to IndyCar. But it was originally supposed to be based on Formula One, but it was just ridiculous. So I'm not holding my hopes up. Brad Pitt's sort of star has fallen off a little bit past 10 years, I'd say, in terms of making decent movies. I haven't seen much of a decent one for Brad Pitt for quite a while. He's, of course, he's reaching the end of his career. Without a doubt. He's 60 years old. And in the movies, that is ancient. He's only going to be able to do roles now that are going to suit his age. And the older he gets, the less. He's going to end up with the grandpa roles very, very soon. He's still trying to cut it as an action figure. Same as Tom Cruise is. I mean, Tom Cruise is what? He's 65, isn't he? 65 years old and still doing the Mission Impossible movies. I mean, in real life, if he was like, this IMF secret agent, his legs would have snapped like 20 years ago, wouldn't they? Doing those stunts at his age, his legs would have just snapped like twigs. And he'd be doing the rest of the film in a wheelchair. Trying to climb into the fridge. I've made it. So yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, as I say, but so I'm not hoping for good fucking fridge. I'm not hoping for good things from this movie, but I may be surprised, but I don't think I will be, basically because of the state of Hollywood right now. Hollywood is in a supreme state of distress due to all this wokeness. I'm not going to get into any of that because, we all know what's happening there, but I think they're going through a very bad patch right now, and I think they will come out of it, and in a few years' time they will go back and be making some great movies. I mean, I've always been a fan of the action blockbusters. I did watch Beverly Hills Cop, the latest one, last week, Axel F, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't brilliant. I'd give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10, but it was enjoyable because there was none of the wokeness that seems to be taking over a lot of movies right now. So yeah, I enjoyed it. And apparently the new Bad Boys film is equally as good as well. So it's great to see, because that's all I want to see. Mindless action adventure. That's all because when I watch a film, I just want to switch off. I don't want to, But anyway, so I'm not holding out much hope for this F1 film, but I may be wrong. It may turn out to be great, but I don't think it will be. And the wind-up isn't working, says Bar. Yes, love it. We need Gerhard Berger on the All Seasons. Blimey, I doubt if there's even... I'm going to put him down, but I doubt if there's even any footage of Gerhard actually speaking on YouTube. I've written him down. Jordan's last season. There you go. I was right. That was Jordan's last season. So all I know from that is he'd already sold the team and he wasn't there. So Eddie Jordan, that wasn't his team. Okay? He'd sold. He'd gone sitting on his yacht in 2005 because the team was already sold. He sold the team in 2004. But they carried on for 1 year with the Jordan name just to keep it going until they changed it. So yeah. Last year for Jordan. Yeah, Eddie Jordan wasn't there in 2005. Dave the Minardi in 2005 were up to 5 seconds slower a lap. Blimey. 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 5 seconds slower a lap. 2005 Red Bull first year. Oh, that's right, yeah, 2005 first year. I thought it was around about that time. Jordan about, 3 to 4 seconds maybe. 2006 Honda took full control of BRs, but Sauber became BMW Sauber. Yes, after BMW quit Williams, which was all very, very, very peculiar. I never understood the reasons for that, but there you go. Yes, before Midland took over. Midland's 2006 under Alexander Schneider, and it became Spiker for 2007 before we had the Sahara Force India era. Get Karun Chandok. Let me write this down. Karun Chandok. Alonso will be gone at the end of the season. You've heard it here first. Wowzers. Wowzers be trousers. So there you go. Alonso will be gone at the end of the season. Colin Coles was there as well. Yes. McLaren will drop. Love it. McLaren will drop Norris at the end of 2025. Says a Lando fan with a Kimi logo. Nico, problematic second name. Yeah, that's the one. Problematic second name. Yes, because if you didn't say it right, you could end up saying a naughty word. In fact, I may have accidentally said that earlier, but I was trying to say her name. But yes, if you didn't say it right, you could end up saying a word that we don't say anymore. To be honest, I wouldn't be against Lando getting sacked if it meant getting someone better in. True. Alonso saving the planet under Petronas. Yeah, sure. Let's save the planet. I know, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous. Biggest oil producer, or one of the biggest oil producers in the world. Sponsors of the Mercedes team. And Lulu says no. No, everyone. Everyone, no. No. Stop driving your cars. You must save the planet. You must save the planet. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Right, I'm just off to get in my Ferrari now. Yes. What? What does it do a gallon? It does about 5 miles a gallon, my Ferrari. Yes. My Ferrari. Unbelievable. JK does a much better job of being a petrol head and being environmentally conscious at the same time, basically by barely driving his cars. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. If you want to save the planet, don't drive anything, ever. I haven't got a car, so I am basically saving the planet. Yes, every day I am saving the planet because I haven't got a car. Yes, so I'm not emissioning anything. No. Alonso has only 3 off races, to be honest, so not washed like people are saying. Hamilton fans were the ones who said it first. Saturday. Alonso has been one of the flops of the season. Yes, yeah. And you mentioned the emissions, Dave. Yes. I mean, Aston Martin have gone backwards this season. Oh, yes, definitely. I said about that on Monday, I think, in my video. They've definitely gone backwards. Don't know what's happened to them this season. They did so well last year, didn't they? So well. But this season, absolutely nothing. Still doing better than what Vettel would have done in that car, though. Whoa. Controversial. If Alonso is a flop, 80% of the grid is shit. It is, Will. And still better than Hamilton, says the fan of the biggest bottle job of 2024. Oh, it's getting spicy in this chat. Ask Alan how well his team management gig happened. He'll be out of the interview room fairly sharp. Just look for his F1 Legends episode from 10 to 12 years ago. Part of the job. To be honest, Alonso was outperforming that car in the first 5 races of Canada, and they've gone backwards since Miami as well, to be honest. Even they've admitted this. Aston fucked Vettel out of 30-odd points in 2022 due to their stupid strategy. Get Ralph Schumacher on the all-season. Bloody hell. Ralph Schumacher. Eddie Irvine. Now, Eddie, I know, has got very little presence on YouTube, but I'll give him a go. Oliver's penis is needed back to your all seasons mode. Yes. Hello, Mr. Iron Patriot. Sorry, I didn't see your name there. Oliver's penis. Yes. I'll write that down. But yes, he does. Bar says Corian chasing the biggest paycheck there. Oh, well, you could say exactly the same, couldn't you, about Kelly PK? Because obviously she used to go out with old Kvyat, Daniel Kvyat. And in fact, her daughter, is it Penelope? She is Daniel Kvyat's daughter, not, of course, Maxi Boy Verstappen's. So, yeah. Now, that's definitely chasing the bigger paycheck, isn't it? That is definitely chasing the bigger paycheck. Yes. Oliver's penis, yes. Leclerc to replace Norris in 2026 and Norris leads the grid. Just watch it happen. Whoa! And Leclerc there wins the championship 3 years in a row. A secret test was revealed, and what is your take, Dave? Rival teams think Red Bull is cheating. Is it true for you? I don't know whether Red Bull's cheating or not. I'm not too sure. I would have said at the start of the season, quite possibly yes, because their performance was off the scale. Looking at it now, I don't think they are. Now, whether they've sort of realised that they may get caught and so they've changed a few things, I don't know. But at the start of the season, I would have said yes. At the moment, I would say no. No, not at the moment. But we will see. Well, Dave, you're not wrong. 6 sells. It surely does. And as I say, they're quite happy to push Bianca Bustamante with her attractiveness to the front, especially at McLaren. They're all over her. Really, oh, God. She's everywhere at McLaren. She really is. And as I say, someone like Abby Pullin, who is doing 100 times better than her in the W Series, gets no exposure whatsoever. Which is a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And as an ugly person, I understand. I understand the pain. I really do. The day Leclerc wins a championship is the day I become a nun. Not much chance of that, mate, is there? Not much chance of that. That happened on my F1 Manager 23 series. Norris was shit. His teammate Leclerc destroyed him. For Abby Pullin, results matter. Absolutely. Because Bianca Bustamante will disappear very fast if she doesn't get results. Doesn't matter how attractive you are, if you can't cut it, she's not. It's all to do with sponsorship and status and whatever. And if she doesn't get it, she'll be out, which I've got no problem with because I don't like that sort of thing anyway. It should purely be based on how good you are, not how good you look. I fired Norris on F1 Manager 22 for poor performance. Dear, Leclerc is better than Norris. Ironically, I did the same with Leclerc. Who did you replace him with? Latifi? Shane Paul, hello sir, welcome to the stream. Wow, long time no here. Yeah. Good evening. Very well, thank you. I hope you're doing okay as well. Us Yorkshire people are goated. Norris has been the biggest flop of 2024. Wow, it's a real needle going on between these two, isn't there? Blimey. Frenson finished third in Australia, a lap behind the McLarens. I could never decide what was worse, the F1 98 game or that year's Williams. It was close. It was a close toss-up, wasn't it, really? The game was bad enough, but then the Williams as well. Oh, my God. Ugh, horrible. It actually destroyed my love of Williams, unfortunately, in 98. Destroyed my love of Williams. I was like, I can't be bothered, because Williams was a team I always supported from when I started watching F1 in 1988. But when that came along, I was like, I just can't. I actually, if I remember rightly, I started to switch my allegiance to McLaren in '98. Yes, I know that's terrible, isn't it? But yes, I switched my, but not to David Twat Coulthard. No, actually to Mika Hakkinen, because I was like, yes, yes. I'm impressed, Mika. So yeah, that's what happened. The game, Driven. Yes, I do remember this one. Everyone remembers Driven, with Sylvester Stallone and Burt Reynolds with the champ cars. Rocky and Rambo. Yes. Oh, I love them. I love them. Even the bad ones. Okay. I mean, let's just go through Rocky. Rocky 1, absolute perfection. Of its genre, probably the greatest film ever made. Of its genre, which it's hard to sort of put into a category. It was a boxing drama, I suppose you could call it. But of that, and that sort of changed over the films, didn't it? It became more action orientated. But Rocky 1, absolute perfection. Rocky 2, obviously not as good, but that always happens. Rocky 3, it was okay. Rocky 4, of course, with Ivan Danko or whatever, the Dolph Lundgren. I just loved that because it was, at that point, it was just so cheesy and over the top. It was ridiculous. But I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then, of course, they had to go and make Rocky 5. More disappointing than seeing me in my underwear was Rocky 5. It's just, it was the worst Rocky film I've ever seen. Rocky 6 was a vast improvement, I have to say. The last one, I really like that, even though he was a lot older and it was a bit implausible that he was still boxing at 58 years old. But you could just about get away with it because at the end he didn't win the boxing match. So it brought some credibility to the fact that, he didn't win it. If he'd have won it at 58 years old, everyone was there, but he didn't. But Rocky 5 was a travesty. It was an absolute travesty. So for Rocky, I'd say go down a few stars in quality. So for Rocky, I'd give it 10 out of 10, and then Rocky 2 9, and then 3 I'd sort of go 8, and possibly 7 for 4, something like that. Rocky 5, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. It was an absolute mess. Absolute mess. They completely destroyed the narrative by having them where they reached a situation in Rocky 4 where they were rich beyond their wildest dreams and they lost it all and they had to move back to wherever it was in New York or whatever. That was just completely destroyed it. And the rest of the film was just utter garbage. Utter garbage. It really was. But thankfully Sylvester obviously decided that he wanted to make one more, and 6 was a good thing to stop on. Absolutely. And the Rambo movies, I just loved them. Rambo 1, First Blood, or whatever, where he was fighting with the police officers in the forest and the jungle. Absolute perfection. Loved that film. Rambo 2, yeah, possibly even a little bit better than the first one, I have to say, on that one. A sequel, though, where there was an improvement. Rambo 3 was just absolutely off the chain, in its ridiculousness. Absolutely off the chain. And, of course, we had Rambo 4, or just Rambo, as it was called, which was made a lot later than... because Rambo 3 was in the 80s, and this was, I think 20 years later or whatever. But the violence in Rambo was just off the hook. It really was. And then, of course, we had Last Blood, which was quite possibly the worst Rambo film I've seen in all my life. Oh, my eyes actually started to bleed before I got to the end of that film. My eyes started to bleed because I couldn't believe how bad it really was. Yes, Rambo Last Blood, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it was terrible. I'd give that a 1 out of 10 as well. Horrible. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Rambo. No, neither do I. Everyone's got to love Rambo. And fascinating fact, I only started watching those movies about 5 or 6 years ago. So I only saw Rambo for the first time about 5 or 6 years ago. It was weird. They somehow didn't appear on my radar. I didn't, but I love that sort of, action movie and whatever. But for some unknown reason, I just didn't. And then one night, it was just, I think the first one, Rambo, was on the TV, and I thought, oh, well, I keep seeing this, and I thought I'll give it a go. Like within 10 minutes, I was glued to the bloody screen. And then that was it. I had to go and try and seek out Rambo 2 and Rambo 3 and the Rambo 4, and the fifth one hadn't been out by then, but yeah, it's just, oh my god. And I think they're the best movies ever, to be honest, but I'm just biased because I love that stupid stuff anyway. Action adventure, that's the stuff I like, where you can basically sit down, disconnect your brain for 2 hours, yeah, and then when the movie's over, you can then screw your brain back up again and start again. That's the kind of movie I like. I don't like anything too complicated, too much of, you got to think. I have to think enough in real life. I don't want to think when I'm watching a movie. I want to disconnect that brain, take it out, put it in a little box and just sit there and watch some mindless shit and then put it back in after it's finished. That's the kind of movie I love. And Rambo is the ultimate film that fits that description. Driven was god awful, yes. I can't watch this movie over and over again. No, neither can I. A good movie is a movie you can always watch, and yes, Pitt is 60, so yeah, it's unrealistic kind of for modern day standards. No team would hire, let alone sign a 60 years old. No. The Senna documentary was good. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I really must get around to that. Yes, the Senna one was amazing, and One Life on the Limit. An old man now. Mission freaking impossible possible. I still can't get that bit I was doing about reaching for the fridge. I think that was brilliant. Jarno Trulli turns 50 years old this weekend. Oh my good goodness. Jarno Trulli. Yes. The inventor of the Trulli train. Yes. That will still be discussed in 100 years from now in Formula One. There will still be commentators in Formula One going, oh, look, we got a right little Trulli train going on now. So, Jarno, I salute you, sir. I salute you for bringing something into common language, such as the Trulli train. Yes, the Trulli train, which is brilliant. The Trulli train. Yeah, and Valentino Rossi expected to turn 46 next year. To our motorcycle goat. Yes, his favourite number. Legends of F1, Gerhard Berger. BMW wanted their own team and Williams said no. Well, there you go. Karun Frinkin Chandok, lads. Oh, yes. Poor Alonso. Bra hopes he doesn't go to McLaren again. He will race all alone on the track if this misery continues like that. Aston Martin are probably focusing more on 2026, to be honest. Yeah, they probably are. They had a good pace to start the season in qualifying at least, just because his dad owns that sinking ship team. Apparently they're bringing some big upgrades to the second half of the season, but we will see. I mean, the B-spec hopefully is good, or they are dumb. They're becoming the Honda Works team in 2026 as well. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Get Dr. Disrespect on the all season, says Bra. Oh, my God. Oh, yes. And then I'll be on here. Well, I'll just talk about this quick. I don't know what's been happening on YouTube these last couple of weeks. It's just gone absolutely crazy. Last week, we had the Dr. Disrespect drama, which I don't know if anyone's seen about or basically cares about, but yeah, I can't really go into details because I'm on YouTube and the lawyers are watching, but all I can say is that basically last week he admitted that in 2017 he messaged a minor, which means an underage person. We don't know whether they were female or male, and he said in his statement that his messages were sometimes leaning into the inappropriate, wherever the fuck that means. But yeah, so that's Dr. Disrespect, who is now gone. YouTube have now taken away his monetization, so he gets no payment for anything he's doing on YouTube. So that basically means he's not going to return to YouTube, because if he's not getting paid for it, why the hell is he going to come on and do anything? So that's it. His career is over. And this is a career. He had a £2 million studio that he was doing his YouTube live streams from. £2 million studio. I'm sitting here in my spare bedroom and he had a £2 million studio. He was earning millions and millions every year on YouTube, and basically he shouldn't have been, because he knew all about this back in 2017 and he just lied and carried on going, hoping it would just be brushed under the carpet. But anyway, that was Dr. Disrespect. But now I've just been hearing, because my YouTube was exploded in my feed all about it. It was this, I don't know if you've seen him, Boogie2988, well, there's no other polite way to put it, the fat guy, because what else can you say? The fat guy, Boogie2988, because apparently a couple of years ago he said he had cancer, and apparently all the time he's been lying. I mean, this bloke is just an absolute disaster of a human being at the best of times. But yeah, that's all now blown up over YouTube, and it's just ridiculous. Really is. All these big content creators, I'm going to say it again, don't trust them. If you want to follow them, if you like them and you watch their videos, that's fine. But please don't trust them whatsoever. You don't know them, so don't trust them. As I said, I think last week, don't even trust me. Don't even. I know I'm fine, but don't even trust me. Okay, you have to earn that trust, and you know that happens over a long time. But you know, these big YouTubers are just ridiculous. They really are. You give someone a lot of money, and they abuse it. They abuse it in the worst way possible. Worst way possible. Just ridiculous. Anyway, that's enough about Boogie2988. Get Norbert Haag on the Royal Seasons. Get the moaning. I've had him on already, but you said his voice wasn't very good. Hoping he's washed like Kimmy at the end. Bois loves Alonso and Leclerc. Think you're listening to Syrian Swift too much, Bar. Replaced him with Gasly, Dave. Dave likes Bianca Bustamante. Doesn't he think she's cute and pretty? Leave it now, Will. Leave it, okay? You'll get me into trouble one day. Yes. Serious trouble. Why? He can't even beat Ocon. Norris will never win a championship whilst Leclerc will. This was pre-Alpine Gasly, back when they still had a bit of hype behind him. Rocky 5 was a disaster. Thank you, Mr. Champ 92. I agree with you. Rocky 5 was a disaster. Possibly the worst film I've ever seen. Not just a Rocky film, but possibly the worst film I've ever seen. Oh, I've seen some turkeys, but that was a turkey of the highest order of Bernard Matthewsons. Yes, that was just awful. Yes, I was actually watching that movie. Yeah, and I was actually pinching my hand, trying to hurt myself, because I just wanted it to not be true. I was saying, no, this sure. I was going, ow, this surely can't even be a Rocky movie, can it? Someone's made a hideous mistake and they've renamed the movie with the wrong title. It's not Rocky. It's not my Rocky. No, ow. I'm going to pinch myself again. Ow. It's not. But it was true. It was a Rocky movie, and it was bloody awful. Hello, Matthew7857. Welcome to the stream. Says good evening to you, sir. Gasly was just average for me on F1 Manager 22. Missed my battles versus that blue bus. Yes, that blue bus. Who was driving that blue bus? No idea. Watch Hamilton finish 15th every race in that 2025 Ferrari and make 2020 Vettel look good. I think you're right. I think it's going to happen. Garbage trash. It certainly was. Not a chance Hamilton ever wins an 8th title. Hamilton, Hookster in. Hamilton out, Hookster in. I like that. In that Ferrari, he won't cope. He won't in any car. Sadly, Ferrari always keep everyone's hope up year by year, but the same thing happens, same shit, different year. Hamilton's in for a big shock when he joins Ferrari. Yeah, he sure is. Bois is boring. You never had a brain in the first place. Boring Bois. I just love how spicy this chat's getting tonight. Yarno Oatmeal is certainly not boring. Bois is not a better driver than Hookster. Kiefer is not a better driver than Hookster. Lando is not a Charles. Fernando, Sebastian, Max, Kimi, Norris has been average this season. Just checked his YouTube. Is that Dr. Disrespect? Yeah. Also, if you go to the second video on his channel, not the latest one because he's disabled the comments, but it's one about donations or whatever. The comments is still active on that channel. You go to that and you will see some of the comments are absolutely horrific. horrific. If I was Dr. Disrespect, I would literally be in my car right now with the engine running and, you know what I'm saying, with the garage door down, because it's just ridiculous. But, you know, a lot of people would say justly deserved. But yeah, and the comments just keep coming. Every day it's just like some kind of sick game I keep playing now. I just keep going to the Dr. Disrespect comments to see if anyone's... I was hoping that after a week it's died down, but it hasn't. People are still posting comments in there constantly, all the time. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Josh's voice sounds like Andre House. He did. Boogie has never been there in the head. He hasn't. And right now he's completely lost it. He really has. Completely lost it. He did this cryptocurrency scam last week or whatever, and now the cancer has come out, and I think that's going to be the last straw for him. But this is the other problem, you see. They keep getting him on as guests on these podcasts and whatever. They are enabling him. He wants this attention. This is the thing. This is what gets him off. This is what his kink is, that, you know, he claims to be the victim all the time. Whatever. This is what he wants. The best thing that people can do for Boogie2988 is to completely ignore him, to completely drop him, to not have any contact with him. Just let him carry on making his videos of him out and about somewhere that only get about 25,000 views, even though he's got nearly 4 million subscribers. Just let him keep doing that, and eventually he'll stop doing that as well, because no one will be interested. No one make any comments in his videos. Just completely, you know, just don't do anything. That's the only way that he's going to stop, because all the time people keep getting him, that we're just enabling him. That's the problem. And that's exactly what he wants. He wants the enablement. He wants it. He wants it. You can see it in his face. He wants that enablement so bad. But all you have to do is just stop. Just stop everything. Imagine if every video he made over the next month, because he doesn't make many, he only makes about one a week. But imagine if over the next few months, every video he made, there was absolutely no comment in his comment section. Absolutely zero. Yeah? He wouldn't stick around, would he? He'd be gone. He'd be absolutely gone. It's all the enabling that keeps him going, and that's stupid. Someone needs to give Bianchi Bustamante Dave's phone number. Stop it. Stop it. Someone really does need to give Jess McFadden's the Hooksters. Stop it now. You're welcome, Dave. I know what's good and what's not. Yeah, Rocky 5 gave me a headache too, man. It's just... go away. I know. Matthew says, what's your favourite drink? My favourite drink, Matthew, is Pepsi Max. I know, it's boring. It's not very interesting, but that's my favourite drink. I used to love Pepsi, but unfortunately here in the UK, they came out with a sugar tax, I think in 2016, which meant that Pepsi Max increased its price to an enormous level. And I went, no, I'm not going to pay that. So I now buy Pepsi Max. When I first started drinking it, I was like, ugh, this is disgusting. I can't drink this for the rest of my life. It's horrible. Pepsi Max, if anyone doesn't know, is the no sugar version of Pepsi. There's zero sugar. Still got caffeine in it, so it still gives you that little pump. You know, that little pump that we need during the day, but it's got no sugar in it. So it's zero sugar. And when I first tried it, I was like, that's disgusting. But over time, I got used to it. And now, in fact, I can't drink ordinary Pepsi. Ordinary Pepsi now tastes really, really sweet to me. So, yeah, it was a good idea. Yeah. Also, I found out that a 2-litre bottle of Pepsi, you know, a 2-litre bottle of Pepsi has 36.5 teaspoons of sugar in it. 36.5 teaspoons of sugar in a 2-litre bottle of Pepsi, ordinary Pepsi. So that's 36.5 teaspoons of sugar I'm no longer consuming because there's no sugar in Pepsi Max. And I'll tell you what, I do feel a bit better because of that. And I'll tell you something else as well. My teeth feel a bit better because of that. Yes. Watch Hamilton quit Ferrari after one season. I think it's going to happen. Hello, it's Ziggy the Cartoon. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the stream, mate. He says, what's up, Dave? Let them hear it in the cheap seats. Yes, absolutely. Welcome to the stream, sir. Long time no hear. Well, no, actually, I heard from you a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? In the ERL chat. That's right. The ERL chat. We need Boogie on the all seats. Oh God, could you imagine that? I think I might get a lot of hate for that. Yeah, I tried to leave people that are at least semi-popular, you know. And Boogie does not fit into that category. Tell everyone who watches the Crawl Room to not comment on the next one. That would be great, wouldn't it? That would be great. If he made one of those and there was 0 comments, that would be funny. He'd be like, he'd be crying for about a fortnight. I guarantee you, be crying for a fortnight. Hi guys. Boogie all seasons career mode with all driving aids on. Yes. Pepsi Max for the sun, for the win. Yes. Nigel Mansell's a better driver. Yes, absolutely. Who's been your favourite place you visited or favourite holiday? Favourite holiday has to be the USA, which I visited in 1994. Yes, it was on the 50th anniversary of Disneyland. Not Disney World, Disneyland, which was the original Disney. And I went there on the 50th anniversary to the original Disneyland resort in Anaheim. Yes, and it was magical because they were all there in period costumes, you know, from like 50 years in the past. And it was absolutely magical time. As a 12-day holiday, we did about 3 or 4 days at Disney because it takes a very long time to get around a Disney. If you've ever been to any Disney, it takes a hell of a lot longer because queuing for the rides, you go on one ride and the queue is basically an hour and a half to get on one ride. And there's a lot of rides at Disney. So, you know, you cannot do it in a day. Well, you could do. You could just go there and go on like 2 rides and then job's done. But if you want to get as many rides as you can in, you need 2 or 3 days. So I was 2 or 3 days at Disneyland. And then it's basically all theme parks I went to. I went to Six Flags, which is another great theme park. And then, of course, I did the Universal Studios tour in Hollywood, which was great. Absolutely great. Really was. I went to see the Back to the Future set, which is all there. You go on this little, like, it's like a little golf car, but a bit bigger. You know, a little electric vehicle. And there's like, I don't know, about 50 people. It's like 3 or 4 cars stuck together, and there's like 50 people in these cars, and it just drives along very slow speed, only about 5 miles an hour, and you're driving past all these sets that they use for Universal Studios, of course. So we had the Back to the Future set. There was the Knight Rider car was there as well, which I actually got to sit in, and I spoke to Kit, which was very strange because I thought this was just a computer voice that was just gonna, you know, like when you go to somewhere back in the day, like an arcade or whatever, and you sit in something and you just get a computer. That's what I thought it was. But the voice said, "Hello, my name's Kit," and I went, "Hello, Kit." And then he said, "What's your name?" I said, and I thought, oh, he's not going to answer. I said, "My name's Dave," and he said, "Hello, Dave." I was like, "What the fuck? Get me out of this car! It's been possessed." But yes, so it was actually a real person, yes, looking through a TV screen, looking at me, sitting in this Knight Rider car. Otherwise, how would he have known my name was Dave? It's like, wow. So that was great. And I went somewhere else as well, another theme park. Can't remember the name of it, but it's quite a big one. And I spent a couple of days there as well. I went on a train, and it was an old Western train, and halfway through the journey we got hijacked by cowboys. Magical. And then we went to a trip round Hollywood on a bus, and this was 1994, so I don't know if anyone remembers, the film Speed had just come out. Yeah, Speed, you know, with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, you know, with the bus can't go above 50 or the bomb goes off. That movie, and that had just come out, and the driver of the bus had a speed cap on. And he kept going, "Oh, I can't go below 50. But Hollywood is absolutely amazing. I can only describe it as it's like cowboys and Indians. The cowboys are in the middle, and the Indians are gathered all around the outside of Hollywood because it's just ridiculous. All the gangs are literally littered around the outskirts of Hollywood. All the gangs, the big gangs, and yet inside Hollywood, it's immaculate. The streets are absolutely, clean and everything. But you just step to a tiny bit to the outskirts of Hollywood, and that's where all the gangs are, because we're actually in the bus, and he had some technical problems with his engine. He says, I'm sorry, we're having a problem. I've got to slow down and pull over for a minute. He says, it's fine. He says, the bus isn't, knackered. He says, it just needs a rest for a minute to cool down. So we were sitting there by a big flyover, and someone said, oh, can we get out of the bus and sort of, go and visit over there? And the bus driver said, no. He says, you can never get out of the bus. He says, because over there is gang territory. And we said, how do you know that? He says, look on that pillar there, he says, and you will see a gang sign, and that's what it means. So yes, we had to stay in the bus at all times. But yeah, Hollywood's just amazing, absolutely amazing. I've never seen a place like that, where it literally is like the old movies. It's the Indians surrounding the cowboys in the middle, and the Indians are just everywhere. Because outside of Hollywood, you get past the glitz and the glamour, it's all gangs everywhere. Well, it was in 1994. I don't know what it's like now, because 1994 was like 30 years ago, so long time ago. But I doubt whether it's improved much since then. Philip Schofield on the alt. Are you serious? Are you serious? Really? Philip Schofield. No. Shut up, Lando fan. Oh, here we go. Limitless on the all seats. No, no, no. Not happening. Look. I'm not writing that down on my piece of paper. You see that? Look. No, no. I've got everyone else. But no, no. TRL Limitless. Right. Hi, girls, and welcome back to the Morning Yorkshireman. No. Boogie versus AI on all, even he might lose. Right then, guys, and I started to plan to finish. Right, hi, girls, and welcome back to the Morning. P.S. Luton rules on. No, he's not getting the exposure because he won't talk to me anymore. So I'm not gonna. No, fuck him. Would you prefer to be 20 in the 80s or the 2020s? That's a very good question, Matthew, and the answer to that is very easy for me. I would prefer to be 20 in the 80s. Than in the 2020s. Definitely. The 80s, as I've said before, was a magical time. It was strangely magical because there was a lot of problems during the 80s. Unemployment was at an all-time high. Nobody had any money. But it was just, at the same time, a magical time. Music was just exploding like never before. Yes, not in a good way, as everyone says. The 80s was the decade of... the decade that fashion forgot, and it was definitely the decade that music forgot as well, because yeah, I love the 80s music. A lot of people don't like it though, but I love the 80s music. I thought it was great. I don't think anything's come along since that's ever gonna eclipse that, or I don't think we're ever going to get an 80s resurgence in terms of music, because music these days it's really far down the table now, isn't it? Really is. I mean, I hear they're getting rid of the top 40 now because it's just totally irrelevant, and that was naturally going to happen eventually. Is that even a question, Matthew? 767? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's a good question. It was a good question. And I would definitely like to have been 20 in the 80s, which I was. Hang on. And I was just 20 just before we reached 1990. So there you go. But yes, I would have preferred to have been 20 in the 80s. Definitely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Where's TB? I don't know. Anyway, we've got Baby Grugu TB this week. Yes, there he is. Look. I don't know what you're moaning about. It's always been Baby Grugu, hasn't it? Yes, it's always been Baby Grugu. Yes. TB's he's gone on a holiday. Yes, he's gone to Costa Rica. I understand it's quite nice this year. It's where Dr. Disrespect's gone as well. In an unfortunate accident. TB for the bin. Norris rhymes with Boris. Hollywood being a shithole? Never. Roman Polanski? No. No Roman Polanski. How is that now, Dave? Unbelievable. Right, how long have I been? My God, I've been on the air for 1 hour and 49 minutes. I've got to go, everyone. I've got to go. I've got to go. I don't even know if I've got time for the quiz this week. TB is in Costa Rica. Yes, he is. Costa Rica. Yes, anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll do the quiz next week because I've run out of time, unfortunately. Because it's almost 11 o'clock and I can't find my book anyway. What do I do with it? It's around somewhere. So we will resume the quiz next week. There'll be some Formula 1 next week to talk about. News talk about as well. So anyway, yes, there we go. Thanks so much for watching tonight, everyone. Do a quiz now, Dave. No, I can't. I'm out of time, unfortunately. Look at that. 1 hour 50. I didn't realise I've been nattering on talking shit again for 1 hour and 50 minutes. I can't believe it. You guys are incredible that you're still around, to be honest. I'd have fallen asleep after about 20 minutes. Bit like when I'm watching F1 race. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. You've been awesome as always. And to you, Champ92. Thanks to Champ92, to Bois, to Will F1 for being in there. Matthew was in there as well. Ciao, Dave. Yes, thanks, mate. And same to you. Will F1 was in there. More like you can't be bothered. No, I would be, mate, but the time is getting on. Unfortunately, I've got neighbours who go to bed. It's nearly 11 o'clock. So yeah, my mistake. I should have been looking at the time. If it gets to about an hour and a half, I can sneak it in, but it's going to take a good 15, 20 minutes to do the quiz on top of this. So yeah, we're going to be getting into waking people up territory. So unfortunately, yeah, I've got neighbours, so I've got to be, respectful. Because I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. So I shall do it next week without a doubt. I promise. It was only you last week anyway, because everyone else buggered off. But I shall do it next week. There's plenty more opportunities to do the quiz, don't worry. So thanks to Bois, Champ92, Will F1 Gaming. Matthew was in there as well. Thank you, Matthew, for being in the stream tonight. Ziggy the Cartoon. Thanks, Chris, for being in there. I've seen you for ages. Did I say Bois? I think I probably did. Champ92, Will F1 Gaming. I'm just saying all the names again, so don't moan at me. Shane Paul was in there as well. Thank you, Shane. Iron Patriot was in there. Thank you, Iron Patriot. And I think that's everybody. Let's go up to the top. Oh, it's letting me scroll all the way up to the top, I think. No, not quite. But I think I got everyone. It's Chatham. They'll be off their heads on drugs anyway. Most likely. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining me tonight. You've been awesome as always. And I will catch you on Sunday, I think, for the All Seasons with a very special guest star at the start. Yes. I'm not going to tell you who it is. No, you'll have to bloody well wait until that bit comes on. Then you'll probably switch off the video. Because I know what you're doing. Diddy for the All Seasons. No. Enough now. Enough. How many I'm trying to say a nice word here without getting into trouble. How many of those people have you mentioned are people of disrepute? Let's put it that way. All of them, isn't it? That's what they're all of them. Yes, I know what you're doing. And it's not happening. Anyway, I'm off for a lie down now. With me and Mr. TV the Bear. Yeah, he's still here. He's not gone anywhere. Yeah, he's TV. Yes, we're back, aren't we, TV? Yes. You were hiding all the time, weren't you? Yes, you're not going to Will F1, are you? No. Because he'll get up to nasty things with you, won't he? Yes, he will. he'll start ripping your arms and legs off, won't he? Yes, start ripping your arm and trying to look for your penis. Trying to look for your penis because it's there. Trust you me, it's there, but it's difficult to see. Yes, you're staying with me, aren't you, TB? Yes, yes, yes. Fantastic. Did he forget that'll be cheap? Yes, it will. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. You've been awesome as always. I'll catch you in the next video. Send him to Will. A deal is a deal. No. Not happening. Not happening. Oh. Oh. Blimey. Stuck to this chair. Oh. Oh. You know what? I fancy a little bit of love in here. TB? TB? Hello, TB. How are you, big, beautiful bastard? Come on, TB. Come on, TB. Yeah, come on. Come on, TB. Come on. Oh, yeah, come on. Give Daddy some candy. Oh, yeah. Come on, TB. Come on, TB. Come on, then. Come on. Come on. Did I turn the camera off? Oh, no. Shit.